Okay, your first decision you're going to make is going to be basically, do you run with the OS platform, which is this, or do you run with the OS straps? Now clearly the OS straps are going to secure your main panniers over the top of the seat and then down without the use of this frame itself. Now I went for the frame and I'm quite glad I did, because as I'll explain later on, this actually opens up a lot more options for you to vary the way you configure your luggage itself. Now when I fitted this, it's very simple. This is the universal fit, and it was, or still is, fitted onto a Givi frame, rack frame from the Trekker Outback. What you can actually do is test and adjust the plate itself on the frame, and you can move it either slightly forward, back, up or down. Now there's not a massive amount of movement, but there is enough, and as long as you keep these 1, 2, 3 and 4 gaps, if you like, because they're where you secure the 4 main points of your luggage free, then actually you've got a lot of freedom of movement. Now I've moved mine, as you can see here, as far forward as I can and as far up as I can. So normally it sits centrally there. I think you can see that there's the frame itself, and I've moved it as high up as I can, obviously leaving enough room at the bottom, and you can just about see the bottom of the frame there, to put my straps through there. So the panniers themselves then, they come in 2 sizes, 32 and 22. They are identical other than in the size itself, which is clearly just in the width. So there you can see roughly how wide it is, the 32. Now I opted for the 2 32 litre panniers simply because when you pack less into these, then they do compress. So I guess the only reason you would opt for 22, which is obviously to offset the exhaust side of your bike to balance it up a bit, is A, to save money because they are slightly cheaper, or B, because you're lacking in self-discipline and you always overfill your panniers. So just bear that in mind, that if you do want to go with the offset look of one slightly narrower than the other, then you can achieve this with 2 32s. You just pack less in it. Because it's soft luggage, it will of course compress slightly in its width. Basically it's secured with 4 points. It has a carrying handle, which is useful. There are loops here fitted on each side in case you want to get the additional shoulder strap. You've also got a security bar here, which I'll show you how that works later on. On the outside of the bag there's a number of lashing points, if you like, where you can fit different size Kriega bags, and I'll show you some of those later and how they fit on. Okay, mounting the bags then is relatively simple. You take the 2 top lashing points and pass them through the holes, and then simply let them go, and they lock in by these 2 buckles here. Then all you do is, using the top strap, fit that through like that, and again like that, and then underneath you do exactly the same. And then all you do is come to the top, tighten it down and lock it off, and that's secured. And then if you've got any spare, you can just tuck it in there. Opening and closing the bags, pretty straightforward. Loosen your straps. Now some people will completely undo the buckles to get access. You don't need to. You just loosen, pull them to one side, unclip, and then you're getting access to the inside of the bag. The inside of the bag, note there's another liner inside which is completely removable, so you take it out to wash it or just leave it in there. And to seal it up, 1, 2, 3, and then do the clips down the side. So 1 each side, strap over, and tighten up and lock down, and then just tuck the loose straps in the front here. Okay, what we've got here side by side is the 6 litre bag and the 12 litre bag. So here's an example of the 6 litre bag fitted to the rear of the 32 litre pannier bag itself. So now I've increased my luggage capacity to 44 litres, 32 and 2 6 litres front and rear on the bike, and now you're starting to see the flexibility of this system. Okay, so I've now included the 12 litre on top, which secures, like I previously said, on the 2 lashing points. So now I've got a capacity on one side of 56 litres. So theoretically, if I did that on both sides and you were a maniac, you could take 112 litres of kit with you, which is a lot. Another option at your disposal would be, instead of fitting the 12 litre on the back, a cheaper option would simply to buy the Kriega cam straps. They fit on in exactly the same way, and then you can obviously strap stuff directly on top of your luggage. What I've done is I've fitted a 12 litre bag onto my upper crash bar, which isn't something normally you would fit on the front of your bike, but it's great for distributing the weight, not all on the back. You can also mount heavier kit on the front as well. In this example, a 6 litre mounted on the front of the upper crash bars, and that's normally what I would run with. And here we see yet another example of what you could do. In this case, I've fitted a on the base plate a 12 and a 6, or you could equally have 2 6s or 2 12s, or even you can get a rotor pack system that mounts onto the plate itself. So for example, you could have this 12, and in place of this 6, you could have a 3 litre water or fuel canister, or alternatively you could double that up and put a fuel and a water, or 2 fuels, or you could completely get rid of all the bags and have one side of your pannier system just with the larger canister, and I'll put on the screen exactly what size it is, I can't remember off the top of my head, and carry fuel and water just on one side. So it really is a very, very flexible system, and you could tailor it exactly to what you want. A further option is to mount the smaller bags, the 6 and 12s, is as a tail pack, which does fit. I haven't got it secured at the moment, but I have used it, as you can see from these photographs on my last tour. I put the 12 litre on the back as a general stuff sack. So another example of the flexibility of this system is the OS plate itself, that also allows you to mount, for example, tools, etc. Or in this case, I've mounted a 1 litre fuel canister on the inside here, because there's plenty of room on the offset exhaust side here to do things. Now, clearly one of the downsides of soft luggage is security, so what they've done is they've come up with this, which is the steel core strap. Effectively this nylon, I think it's nylon strap, has got literally a steel wire effectively running through it, and it is lockable. Okay, so that's the strap fitted on. You can see it passes through this which is mounted securely onto the pannier itself, and then it simply locks here. To get it on and off, you depress this small button here, and that releases it to open it, and then to put it in, and to lock it, you just turn the key. That's now locked in. What was interesting, I brought 2 of these at the same time, and 1 key fitted them both, so not an issue. You don't have to think you have to carry, well, certainly not in my case, you don't have to carry 2 keys around with you, 1 for each side. So the Kriega Overlander luggage system, there you go. A very flexible bit of kit. It seems very simple, very rugged, and it might suit your needs. So if you're in the market for some new luggage, take a look at it, and I hope this video has helped. Till next time then, cheerio.